just when you think the Canadian government can't get any dumber, they open their mouths in front of cameras and microphones, and then you realize, oh yeah, we're screwed. We're screwed until there's some big changes. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Today we're taking a look at a new budget announcement. Freeland, Mr. Speaker, the Wicked Witch of the North, is in Victoria, BC, and she's got some money that she wants to throw down the drain. I mean, that she wants to talk about her new budget and yada yada. So we're going to take a look at that. But before we do, of course, I want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. We're on route to 400,000 subscribers here. If you don't want to subscribe to support me, do it because the government doesn't want you to. And speaking of subscribers, boy, oh boy, oh boy, do I have some exciting news. I mean, for me, it's exciting news for me, and maybe you are emotionally invested in this channel, but here you go. I have my 100,000 subscriber plaque. I know we're at 370,000 right now, but I was in the no tank, and so YouTube finally recognizes this channel as legit. Yay! In addition to that, House of Canada is at like 93 or 94,000 subscribers. So if you want to help me get 2 plaques, that'd be awesome. You can go subscribe to House of Canada. The link that is down in the description below. Ooh, I'm blushing. I'm blushing because I got a silver plaque. Yeah, and speaking of links down below, if you'd like a matching sticker like the one on my microphone, you can find, again, the sticker model 20% off linked down in the description. This one does have the Mr. Speaker sticker right there, Christian Freeland, Wicked Witch of the North. All right, without further ado, let's get into this video here. So Pierre Poilievre is really swaying mainstream media. Comment says Canadians are united against Trudeau's carbon tax scam that drives up the cost of their gas, heat, and groceries. Let's take a look at this House of Canada. Oh, yeah, this mainstream media clip.
Canadians are set to see another hike to the federal carbon tax next month. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has promised to remove the tax if elected, and today he rallied his supporters around that message. CTV's Sean Leathong has the details.
Bring it home! Bring it home!
Greeted with cheers from thousands of supporters at the Toronto Congress Centre, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre held a rally taking aim at the carbon tax.
Axe the tax! Axe the tax!
Specifically at a planned rise in the carbon tax that will take effect April 1st.
April 1st, April Fool's Day, and with Justin Trudeau and the NDP, the joke is on you.
When talking about the carbon tax, Poilievre delivering his message, trying to frame how it would affect everyday Canadians.
For the single mom who's trying to take her kids to sports and to school in the morning, who has to drive herself to work, she has no choice. There isn't an electrified train to take her. She can't ride her bicycle 40 kilometers every single day to get to the restaurant where she serves her customers. She will be paying higher direct costs.
The room was certainly loud, having an upbeat attitude, something supporters like 26-year-old Tyler Boucherit said.
It feels electric. It feels exciting. You know, this is my first time going to a political rally.
During his speech, Poilievre also took aim at car thefts and what he called liberal journalists in the CBC, with many offering what they see as an appeal from the Conservative leader.
He's one of us. He represents people that are working class.
I think he relates to common people. I think he's very likable and straightforward.
He understands the everyday person, and he cares.
Poilievre often joking with the crowd as he was calling on supporters to become involved.
Politics is not a spectator sport. It is a participation sport. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So you need to be at the table.
That's a really good line.
Shows the Conservatives in a national lead. There are no plans for an election anytime soon, but the Conservative leader seems to be generating momentum.
Sean Leathong, CTV News, Toronto.
Yeah, he did a great job. We covered that speech, a part of that speech here on this channel, and I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Are you pro-axing the tax, or are you sadistic and somewhat demented in the head? And would you like to pay more taxes here in Canada and increase the cost of living for everybody on board? And yeah, and just sink the ship. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Speaking of sinking the ship, we have Justin Trudeau, who makes an appearance here in, I would have to assume, Quebec. And here he goes. It's in French, but there's subtitles, so we're going to take a look-see-poo here. But the caption of the post on X says, while Pierre Poilievre tries to take Canada backwards, we're focused on providing real solutions to make life better for Canadians. You know what, folks? Let me know down in the comments if you think Justin Trudeau and the Liberals have made life better for Canadians in any single way, shape, or form. And if they have, please elaborate how. And you can't include legalizing marijuana because that was about to happen by anybody. But nonetheless, let's take a look here.
Revenir en arrière sur le droit des femmes, revenir en arrière sur la lutte contre les changements climatiques, revenir en arrière sur la défense de la démocratie, ou bien est-ce qu'on se dit, ben non, on est sur une bonne voie en tant que pays avec des valeurs progressistes, avec des conversations sensées où des adversaires politiques peuvent toujours trouver des points en commun sur lesquels on va s'entendre. Est-ce qu'on veut être un pays responsable ou est-ce qu'on dit non, tout est brisé puis on oublie tout ça? Pour moi, c'est un choix tellement fondamental et important que je ne pourrais pas imaginer ne pas en faire partie, ne pas être là pour servir les Canadiens.
So that's a hard clip to get through, not necessarily because of the French, but because Justin Trudeau is so... He's just delusional. He does not think that Canada is broken at all. He thinks that we should be paying way more in taxes to fix the country, to fix the mistakes, and to rebalance the budget because of their mistakes. And also, we can fix the weather or the climate, allegedly, with taxes. Paying extra taxes, a carbon tax, to somehow fix the weather doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no actual plan. Are you gonna grind up millions and billions of dollars and inject it into a tornado or into an earthquake? Like, I don't actually understand the fundamentals of what they're doing with that money. Maybe it's been explained somewhere, maybe it hasn't. But what I do know, and what we can all have common ground on, most likely if you're watching this, is I just can't afford more taxes. I don't want to pay more taxes. I can't afford more taxes. Home heating has gone up way too much. I'm doing small but frequent grocery trips, right? So that I don't waste any food for me and my family, right? Because, you know, when you get the condiments at the back of the fridge and those just expire and you're like, shit, you know, it's like $7 or whatever, but it adds up. Or even vegetables, right? You go and you buy vegetables and they just sit in a tray in one of the drawers in your fridge for too long. You're like, crap, I should have eaten more vegetables, or I should have bought less so that I didn't have any waste. So I'm doing more frequent grocery trips and I'm still paying $400 a week or something like that. It's absolutely insane, man. And gas, like, the prices that are ridiculous right now are going up even more. And the Liberal government, Trudeau's solution is, yeah. Let's keep taxing Canadians. Let's keep taxing Canadians and feed into our addiction of getting more money from these people. It's ridiculous. And I feel sorry for anybody that is consciously voting for the Liberals or the NDP, because they're leeches on society. Speaking of leeches, I'm not the only one that agrees with that. You have the Hodge twins on X saying, get the hell out of Canada. Because you have this post right here. A new hate speech law is required to protect children online, says Canada's Justin Trudeau. But it's not. Harming kids is already illegal. And now Trudeau's government has confirmed to the public that the law would allow judges to send people to prison for speech crimes for life. Trudeau demands life in prison for speech crimes. Absolutely insane. And the scariest part about this speech crime bill is that we don't know the parameters, and the parameters have not been defined. They're all TBD, to be determined. So you leave in a comment on one of my videos on Facebook, on X, saying I don't like the government and here is why. That could be classified as hate speech. And I'm not trying to fearmonger. This is real things that we've seen already. Right? We've seen this type of behavior, this tyrannical abuse of power by Justin Trudeau, time over time. And we need to end it. We need, Jesus, oh, Lord have mercy. We need an election so desperately, because then we have people like this that are in power. So you have Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland speaks on housing. Let's see what she has to say. I'm sure it's something along the lines of, everything is fine.
Inflation in Canada fell to 2.9% in January. That's down from 3.4% the month before, and down from its peak of 8.1%. This is real progress and a return to the Bank of Canada's target range. That's great news for all of us, including the people responsible for this apartment building, people who are trying to get financing to build more homes faster. Thanks to the hard work of Canadians and Canadian businesses, Canada added 41,000 jobs in February. That was more than double market expectations. Today, 1.2 million more Canadians are working compared to before the pandemic. Wage growth has outpaced inflation for the past 12 months, for the past year. Real wages, that means wages after accounting for inflation, are now higher than they were just before the pandemic. Real GDP grew 1.1% last year. That's more than triple what was forecast, and it means last year we avoided the recession that many had thought was inevitable. Private sector economists are now predicting that Canada will have a soft landing from all of the incredible and wrenching turbulence of COVID and what followed. And last Friday, DBRS reaffirmed Canada's AAA credit rating with a stable outlook. That is a powerful proof point of our government's fiscally responsible approach. All of this is progress, but we all know that so many Canadians, so many people here in BC are still struggling to make ends meet. They're struggling to juggle their bills at the end of the month. They're struggling to find a nice, affordable place to rent or to buy that first home. And they're struggling to feel confident about their future. That's why we know that we have a lot more work to do to help unlock a brighter future for everyone in our amazing country, in this beautiful province. And that's why our government is working every single day to build more homes faster and to make life more affordable for Canadians and their families. And that's where Hudson House comes in. There are 245 rental homes at Hudson House, and 227 of these homes are for people with low and middle incomes. There are also 39 specially designed accessible units for people with disabilities. And people are living here right now. Hudson House is a great place to live with thoughtfully designed apartments. I really enjoyed looking through a couple of them. And great amenities for residents. We are in the kind of kitchen living room, and their families to enjoy, including a clubhouse, a gym, and a picnic area. It's a wonderful example of what great purpose-built rental looks like, a real community that enhances the quality of life for its residents. And that's why I'm so glad that our government supported the construction of these apartments with a $100 million investment through the Apartment Construction Loan Program. The Apartment Construction Loan Program is an essential source of support for purpose-built rental across Canada. We topped it up with $40 billion additional dollars in the fall economic statement because this is a program that makes the math work for builders, like the people who built this great apartment building. And it makes it possible for builders to build purpose-built rental communities like this one. We're seeing right now what that federal government money can do, what that money is already doing here in Victoria and across Canada.
What I really like about the conservative approach to housing is subsidies for the or payments rather for developers, right, that are mass building apartments and infrastructure for people to live in. The more you build, the more you get paid. The government doesn't believe in that. The government hands out contracts for a certain amount of money, and it's not dependent on the amount of work that's done. And if you don't believe me, look at what they did with GC Strategies, right? The Arrive scam thing. Right, where you had a company that was literally a shack out by a lake with a bunch of computers that have been sitting there for years, like old ass computers and monitors, and it's just a tax write-off, right? It's just a weird loophole that you can do, that you can just say that's where the business is and someone found it and there's nothing there. And that company got paid $20 to $40 million for developing an app, and it wasn't based off of the work that they did, but it was based off of government contracts. There's so many weird and horrible just gray loopholes that people have been exploiting. And that's what's happening under the Liberal thumb is that they're not cracking down, saying, hey, the more you're building, the more apartments you're building, the more condos you're building, the more housing development you are building, actually constructing, like finished, where people are moving in, not just taking people's money for down payments, the more you're getting paid. So these guys are corrupt, man. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
In fact, the program has supported 2 more rental buildings nearby. One is just a few blocks away on Fort Street, called the Sawyer Block, which has 60 rental apartments. And the other is in Cook Street Village with 47 rental apartments. Our government invested over $34 million for those 2 buildings, and families are living there right now.
She didn't even know the amount till right now, dude. Look, when she looked in the camera, she said $30 million and her eyes lit up.
With 47 rental apartments.
Look at this.
Our government invested over
Our government invested $30 million, it says. Oh my God. Holy smokes, man. You're the finance minister. Holy crying out loud.
$34 million for those 2 buildings, and families are living there right now. Through the apartment construction loan program, we will also be offering low-cost loans to post-secondary institutions like the University of Victoria, the University of BC, and Simon Fraser University, so that they can build more student housing on and off campus. This will help more students to find the housing that they can afford close to where they study, and at the same time will mean that there are more homes available for those who live in those same communities year-round. We're building more rental homes across BC too. Last month, the Prime Minister announced that our government is working with Premier Eby to build a minimum of 8,000 to 10,000 new homes through the BC Builds initiative. Our government is investing $2 billion in this initiative through the apartment construction loan program.
Oh, it's so much money.
That is a significant contribution from the federal government that will get those homes through BC Builds built faster. I'm looking forward to seeing Premier Eby later this afternoon, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about how we can work together to build more homes faster and to make housing more affordable for people here in BC. The Premier and his government are doing really ambitious and exciting things on housing, and I'm looking forward to continuing a really constructive collaboration in that space.
I gotta say, folks, I'm starting to get a little ticked off with how much government subsidized housing is being made, and we're not talking about like low income rentals that are government funded. These are like anyone can purchase these. I'm just sick and tired of this shit because I feel like our money could be going towards something else. I feel like the private sector, if the government stops all this red tape nonsense where they, private companies have to go through years and years of loopholes in order to get permits to build. And if it was just very simple for a company with maybe $10 million liquidity to say, we're going to build an apartment complex right here that can house 40 to 100 people, right? And then they get it done. They start construction within the same year. They've got all the blueprints and everything. It pisses me off that that's not a thing that happens here in Canada. You would see way more investments into actual apartment complexes and, housing, areas. And you're just not seeing that. And it's the government saying, no, we want full control. We have to do everything. And if anyone wants a piece of it, then you're going to have to borrow money from us. And then we get a massive stake in it. And I don't like that. I don't like how Canada is becoming so government regulated that the whole private sector is just going out the window. I really don't like that. Maybe I'm uneducated. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know, but that's just my own personal opinion. Maybe somebody down in the comments can provide, a well written out comment to rebuttal my opinion right now, because I'm definitely open to the idea of maybe I'm wrong, but it's just I feel so strongly against so much government subsidies because we work hard for our money, folks. We work hard for our money, and we pay into our taxes, and taxes in Canada are already insanely high compared to the rest of the world. And then our government pisses away all of our money. And we really need an economist or someone who's better with money in government, such as, I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe perhaps the Conservatives and Pierre Poilievre, but we'll have to see how they go about things. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd love to read through them once the video is posted. That's where we're going to end today's video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't yet already, and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.